How do you feel about Tupac always rapping about death? At that time when he was alive, how you felt about that?
Now looking back at it in hindsight, you know, always I can relate. I know why he always rapped about death, and because it's an environment that he grew up in, because of the household he grew up in, and also Pac. When it comes to writing, he was a genius. You know what I mean? So like everything Pac did, it was calculated. You know what I mean? Pac was a genius. He knew that he had a niche that nobody else had. You know what I mean? It's certain things that you can speak about that really touch the soul, and death is one of them things. That's something that is going to catch the attention of the people. And Pac, a poet, like he's a deep poet. His words, he was using words to, that can penetrate the heart. You know what I mean? And that's why so many people related to Pac. So one of the things that everyone can relate to is death. No matter your status in life, no matter the money, no matter your race, no matter your skin color, you all either had someone that passed away. You pretty much, if you grew up in a ghetto, you know what I mean, you probably had some near death experiences. You know what I mean? So Pac wanted, he was able to touch everyone around the world because that's what everybody can relate to. Like, when these new rappers or whatever, they doing stuff talking about jewelry and things like that, people internationally may not relate to that. You know what I mean? You had different cultures. You're not going to have people in certain parts of Asia, certain parts of the Middle East, or certain parts of Africa because they don't know about popping these bottles and wearing these jewelry. You know what I mean? But when it comes to death, Pac going to get their attention right away. And Scarface was another artist that was able to, do something like that.
Out of curiosity, man, did Tupac personally talk to you about death and him feeling like he was going to get murdered?
Not personally, not me in general, but the Outlaws, yes. Um, Pac at one particular chance he changed his stance on death, meaning that at one point he didn't care if he lived or died. And we was in Malibu. I remember we were sitting in Malibu. He had a house that was on the beach. The backyard literally was the ocean, and I remember we sitting down and the sound of the wave. I hated it back in the day. Like back then, I used to hate it. Now, mashallah, I can chill, you know what I mean, relax and be around the way. But I remember saying, man, this sound is driving me crazy. I can't sleep at night. So Pac was like, move, you don't have inner peace. You know what I mean? He said, this is like creation of God. If this is bothering you, then you need to fix with your inner self. You know what I mean? So then we went on to talk about life and death. And Pac said, he said, man, I used to want to die. He said, but now that I'm starting to, be a little happy, I want to survive. I want to live my life. I'm selling millions of records. I'm buying, got a house for my mother. I'm doing this. I want to live. I want to enjoy life. And unfortunately, man, not too long after that, he passed away. You know?
Right. You have some people, man, that say Tupac, he had a death wish because of the way he was moving. How you feel about people that say that?
Did he ever have a death wish, man? I think he just wasn't afraid to die. And that, like everybody know they're going to die. We all have to die. You know what I mean? That's inevitable. Nobody gonna escape death. But I think Pac, you gotta understand, man. A lot of us in the black community, the Latin American community, we suffer PTSD. You know what I mean? And we don't know. We mental illness is rampant in our communities, but we don't know how to deal with it. Pac was another individual that was suffering from these things, from his upbringing. You know what I mean? He never really settled no place. He never really had a time to settle. People came after to kill him. People try to kill him. He grew up hearing stories how, the FBI and the government was trying to take down his family. He grew up hearing how when his mother was pregnant, the FBI put a shotgun to his pregnant mother's stomach and told her, if you move, we will blow off your stomach. So imagine as a kid growing up, and hearing these things, going to prison to visit his mother and believing that the people that want to take you down is your own government. You understand? And then, you get into the music industry, you face police brutality. Remember, Pac got, the Oakland Police Department beat him up, put him in a hospital. People don't know that there was other things that Pac went through prior to that. You know what I mean? He got, attacked in Marin City by, some dude, something popped off and a baby got killed. They don't know who, but a shot went off a baby. A little girl got killed. And, from that beginning, people threatening Pac. They're going to kill him. So pretty much all his life, he was faced with death. you know what I mean, or some type of, you know, problems when it comes from law enforcement dedicated at his parents. He had like uncles in the Black Panther Party that was killed, you know what I mean, murdered by the police department, and then his mother's in jail, and then people threatened to kill him. So that's the reason why many of his lyrics was based on death or surviving death, or he know death was around the corner because of what he was actually living. You know what I mean?
Give me a detailed account of the letter y'all received from the mystery woman telling Tupac that he needed to leave Death Row.
Bro, we don't know who that woman. We we was in Malibu. I think it was the same time, the night or the day we was talking about. You know what I mean? How he don't want. After that letter, matter of fact, is when he said, "Now I want to enjoy life." Before I didn't care. You know, so he said he received the letter. This was at the time of fan mail. You know, this was before Instagram, Facebook, where a person could just send you a message. You know what I mean? So fans used to write the artist and, you know, express their appreciation or whatever, or they what they don't like or what they like. So he that letter must have touched him because he brought it in front of us, the rest of the Outlaws, myself and the rest of the Outlaws, and he was like, "Let me read this letter to you." You know, so I can't recall word by word, but the letter basically, the girl, whoever written the letter, was saying, "Look, your life is in danger. You must leave Death Row. Please listen to me. Such and such might happen to you. I don't believe you're gonna survive, and this and this and that." So when he finished reading the letter to us, he was just basically like, "What y'all think?" And you know, we young, we like, man, she's psycho. She's a crazy woman. You know what I mean? We don't, you know. So that's when the whole conversation of death started talking. When Pop was like, I'm not, now, you know. Before I didn't really care if I, you know, died early or something like that. But now I want to, you know what I mean? I want to enjoy life. You know, I'm one of the best-selling artists right now, and I'm making history. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know Pac had a lot. He was about to get a compound. You know, right before he passed away, he was going to buy land in Atlanta. He was going to build a compound where each outlaw would have their own villa, their own house. You know what I mean? So he was like, that was his next step. He was going to build a compound, go to Atlanta, enjoy life. He wanted to start living his life. But unfortunately, not too long after that, he passed away.